Restful API is an interface that two computer systems can securely exchange information over internet. First, let's open a new terminal. And inside this terminal, we will check your .NET version first. And type .NET hyphen version. It will show your .NET version. If your version is above 7, it's good to go. Next, let's create a new folder, and you can name its folder's name whatever you want. So we'll give it a name web, and in terminal we type out cd space and drag this folder into this terminal. It will get the path of this folder and press enter. We will change our terminal current directory to this folder, and inside this folder we will run .NET new web API. This will create a new web API application, and -n. This -n means name. We will give it a name API, and also this name you can name whatever you want, and press enter. This will create a new web API project inside this web folder. Next, you can open your favorite text editor or IDE. I will use Visual Studio Code, and I will open this Visual Studio Code, and open this folder, and this folder's API folder. Drag this API folder into your Visual Studio Code, and it will open this project. On the left is all the folders and files inside this web API application. And we will mainly focus on this program.cs file. So let's open this file. And first, let's remove all the codes inside this file. We will write a code from scratch. First, let's create some dummy data. We will use record. This record is similar to class, but the difference is when you create an object of a record, this object's attributes value can't be changed, and we give it a name person, and inside of this person we will set two attributes. First is type int id, and the second is type string name. Be careful, always put this record at the bottom of the code, or it will give us some error. Next, let's create a list to store this person object, and name list equal to new list person, and give it some initial value, new person, and first is ID 1, and second is name. We will give it a name Jack. Let's add another person, and ID 2, and the name John. Don't forget add the semicolon end of the code. Next, let's create a new instance of a web application. The type will be web application. By convention, we will give it a name app and equal to web application create. This creator method will create a new instance of web application and with pre-configured defaults. Let's create our first root. Use app.map get. Inside of this map get method, first we will put a path. We want this root be a root path, so we will just put the forward slash inside a double quotation mark. And next is lambda expression, and this will just simply return a string hello world. And this map getter method will map request. When request a method is get and request URL match this path, it will execute this lambda expression. If we run to run our application, we need to call app.run method. So let's in our terminal type of .NET run. This will run our application. It'll give us some error. Tell us we forgot to put a semicolon here, and then let's run again. When we show this message, we just successfully run our servers. This means our server is listening on localhost 5229. Let's open our browser, and here let's type localhost 5229. When we just it show hello world, it means our application runs fine. This URL localhost 5229 is base URL. It will hit our root path, so it will show hello world in this web browser. We can press Ctrl C on our keyboard to shut down the application. Then let's write another root, app.map get, and this root path should be /people, and this root we need to return all the people inside this list, so it will just return this list. Let's add another root, app.map get. This root we will get a specific person, so we give it a pass person, and this will have a dynamic parameter. So this ID inside curly brackets is a dynamic parameter. I will show you how this dynamic parameter works later. Then parentheses. Inside this parentheses, we will give it a parameter int type ID. This parameter name should be the same as this parameter dynamic parameter ID. So this dynamic parameter's value will pass to this parameter. Don't forget under the line add the semicolon. Then we will just simply return this ID's value. Let's in our terminal run this application. .NET run. Let's open our browser, and we will show you how this dynamic parameter works. So let's type the localhost 5229, then /person/ this will be the dynamic parameter. Let's try to type 1, then it will return 1. If we try to type 2, then it will return 2. This dynamic parameter will not be the same value. It will change when we hit a different URL. Let's back to our Visual Studio Code. Let's change this code, not to return this ID. Just we will just use list.find method to find the person we want to get, and this will be person.id equal to this ID. We pass through this dynamic parameter and store this person we found into a variable person variable. Then we return this person. If we find a person, it will return person. If this person not in that list, it will return none. Let's create another route. This route we will use to add a new person to our list. So it will use map post method and give it a pass people. Though this pass is same to this pass, but the method is different. So it will hit to different endpoint. Then parentheses. Inside this parentheses, we will pass a parameter type person record person and name it a person. If request body has the same field as this person record, it will create a new person object, then pass the value to this person object. Next, we will create a new person. So just person, new person equal new person. First is ID. We don't need the user to input ID by themselves. We will give it ID here. So we will get the last person of this list and get this person's ID and +1 list. We'll use the last method to get the last person and ID +1. This will be the new list of this will be the ID of a new person. Then it will be name. A name from request body passed to this person object. Then we will get a person name, which create a new person. Then we add this person to list. Use add method. Pass this new person into this method, and then we will return a string. Just a new person I did. Don't forget the semicolon end of the line. Let's add another route. This route we will remove person from list. So you will use map delete method and give it a pass person ID. This is a dynamic parameter. This pass is same to this pass, but the method is different, so it will be different. And then we will get this dynamic parameter ID's value, and then we will also use this list find method to find this person. So we copy this code here, and this will find the person inside this list. ID is equal to the ID we passed from dynamic parameter. Then and if the person we can't find in this list, it will be none. So we just add a person type. After this person type, we will add a question mark. Then we will check if person equal to none. We will return the string person not found data. Then semicolon. If a person we found that person, so we will use list remove method to remove this person. Then we will return person removed. Don't forget the semicolon end of the code. Let's add our last route. This route we use to update a person inside this list. So we will use map put method and give it a pass person and ID. Inside this parenthesis, we will first get the ID value from this dynamic parameter. Then the person. This person will get the name value from request body and store to this person. Then this time we will find the person's index inside a list. So index should be type int and give it a name index equal to list use find index method and person id equal to id. This find index method will find the person the ID equal to this ID, then it will return index and store to this variable. And if this person not can't find inside this list, this index will be -1. So we will check this if indexed less than 0. It means this person not found inside this list. So we'll return person not found. Next, we found this person, and we will create a new person. Person update person equal to new person. It should have the same ID, so we'll pass the ID, and the name will be the new name from this person object. So we'll get person.name. And then we need to remove the old person from this list. So we'll use list.remove at method. This method will remove specific element at index position. So we pass the index into this method. It will remove old person. Next, we will add the new update person into this list. Use insert method. This insert method will insert element at a specific index position. So first we'll pass the index, and next we'll pass the updated person. Finally we will return update person updated. Don't forget add a semicolon end of the line. We just finished our code, so let's run our application. In terminal, let's run .NET run. It will give us a warning. If we want to get rid of this warning, we need add this code map getter, and after this person type, we add a question mark. Let's shut down this server and run again. It will get rid of this warning. If we want to test our API, we need to download Postman. Let's open our browser, and in Google we search Postman, and first we click first link, and scroll down. Here we can find download the app, and you choose your version and click download, and then install. It will just install on your computer. Let's open our Postman app and to test our API, and click there. We will add a new tab and paste our localhost 5229 address, and we'll just press send. It will get a hello world. It was fun. And then let's try to get the all people, and slash people, and press send. We get all the people from this list. Next, let's try to add new people. Change this method get to post, and click this body, and choose this row, and click this text, choose to JSON, and inside there we type curly brackets. Inside this curly brackets we type double question mark, name, and a colon, and give it a name. We name it Peter. Then we press send. It just tell us new person send. Then we just change this back to get, and method to get we press send again. And you can see we are list add a new person. Peter will show in our list. Next let's try to delete a person. So we change this method to delete, and change this URL to person and /2. Let's delete a second person. So we press send. It tells us person removed. Then we get back the method to get and change this to people. Let's press send. Then you can see the ID, the second person is not in our list anymore. Next, we will try to get a specific person. Use this and change this URL to person /3. Press send. We will get the third person. The ID is 3 and the name is Peter. And the final API is update. So we change this to put. And this URL is okay. So we just change this here. We change this person's name to Jim. Let's press send. It tells us person updated. So we will just change this method to get. Then we press send. You can see the ID 3, the name changes to Jim. Our API works fine. So we just finish our project and it works fine. And hope I'll see you next time.